I'll be talking about the dangers of nutritional misinformation. Because like nowadays with social media, there's a bunch of posts like picking out certain mechanisms and like plant. Like I'm gonna just give you an example. Lectins. If you don't know what lectins is, it's basically like a chemical you can find in plants that can bind to nutrients, and a lot of people take that and run with it and say, "Oh, these are killing you, it's poison," and blah blah blah. But like in reality, no, no, that doesn't really happen. It's not as simple as you. It doesn't work like that. So basically, in this episode, I'm gonna explain. I'm gonna give you three major areas of nutritional misinformation that I see like widely, like on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of that, and basically explain why these have no validity in the like greater scheme of things. So the first thing that nutritional misinformation does, it creates a sense of fear and anxiety around food, because like I just said, picking out certain mechanisms like lectins, phytic acid, gluten is the most, like, I'm sure you know what gluten is a compound in wheat. It's a protein that binds to wheat, if you didn't know what that was. And it just basically creates a stigma that people can't eat anything and every food is poison. Because I look in the comments, everybody's like, "Oh, I guess we can only drink water." And then someone's like, "Oh, the water you're drinking has lead in it and whoop de whoop and all this crazy stuff." It's unrealistic, and it doesn't work like that. Like, just cause I mean, any, like, I could, like, it was this dude, I referenced him last podcast episode, Lane Norton. He said something I really liked, like saying, I can pick any food and extrapolate it to make it look like it's poison and show you and scare you. Like literally any food. You could do it with water. You could do it with strawberries. You could do it with banana. You could think of the healthy avocados, fish. You could think, like, because with fish, I could talk about the mercury. With strawberries, I could talk about the sugar. Bananas, I could talk about the sugar. Avocados, oh, it has too much fat. Blah. I could say anything about these foods and make you scared. Like literally anything. You can extrapolate anything to like point a certain perspective or point of view to like put your opinion on the food, you know? So yeah, like people just think, oh, I can't eat. You can eat a lot of things. It's just dosage, and it depends. But most of this, like a 99.9999% of the time, people make BS out of this and then extrapolate it to point a certain narrative. Basically, like people don't even think vegetables are healthy anymore, which is crazy. I mean, like, cause the thing is, we got people out here eating burgers and hot dogs all day, and you're worried about broccoli. Like, you know how OD that sounds? Like, oh my gosh, broccoli has I don't even like I don't even know it's a certain compound. I can't think of it right now, but like oh, I can think of one though. Like beans have lectins and they bind to calcium and blah blah blah. So you shouldn't eat those, but we got people out here eating Twinkies for breakfast and drinking soda in the morning, and you're worried about beans. That doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't make sense at all. Like, would you rather eat beans or drink soda and eat Twinkies? Like, which one do you think would have a greater health outcome? You know what I mean? So even with animal based, it's not just plant. It's mostly like oatmeal. Talk about phytic acid or oatmeal. Oatmeal's killing you, blah blah, which isn't true. I eat oatmeal every morning, and I'm a pretty healthy being, so I wouldn't worry about that. But you know, there's one thing called TMAO. You can find in eggs or meat or blah blah blah. I could extrapolate that and say meat is killing you. Stop eating meat. Stop eating eggs. Stop drinking milk. Blah blah blah. But it depends. It all depends. I can't just say this component has this certain effects, so therefore it's all humans shouldn't eat that. That makes no sense, because you have to look at the health outcomes overall. Overall, does this food create greater health outcomes or worse health outcomes? People that eat meat, you can eat meat and fish and blah 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 and still be healthy. It depends. If you're eating like a steak for every meal, like 3 cups of butter, 3 cups of milk, okay, you probably have a problem. But if you're eating like a serving or so of meat, some grains, some vegetables, some healthy fats, you should be fine. It depends on overall how are you eating. The main thing I want to get at here, the main thing is whole foods. If you eat whole food, even if you eat an animal-based diet, which may not be ideal, but it's healthier than eating McDonald's and Burger King all day. Like, that's the thing. Like if you compare someone who eats animal based to someone who eats McDonald's and Dairy Queen and Burger King all day, they will probably be healthier. The main thing is, are you eating mostly whole foods like 80% of the time, and 20% of the time you could probably eat more ultra processed foods if you want. I personally don't, but if your diet is based on whole foods, that's the main thing people are trying to get at. You shouldn't be worried about, oh my gosh, the sugar in an apple. And when people like, it's 100 grams of sugar in ice cream and blizzards at Dairy Queen, and you're worried about an apple. Like that, like that's crazy to me. That's crazy. But overall, in terms of greater health, like plant-based foods such as oatmeal, legumes, broccoli, and just vegetables and fruits and in general have been proven time and time and time again to be greater for human consumption and greater health. So I mean, obviously, fish you can throw fish in there. Flax seeds, nuts, stuff like that. That's been proven to be better for health, and you can even have lean meat or lean grounds. Like you don't like, cause the thing is, like, I don't know if I've preferred this before because I'm clearly vegan. Like, just because I'm vegan, I don't have anything against people eating meat. I think it's healthy to eat meat in certain quantities and depending on your other dietary patterns. But like, like my grandpa, for example, he like he's from Nigeria, so he eats goat and hen and chicken and blah blah blah. He's perfectly like, he's pretty healthy, but he also mixes in like flaxseed. He does psyllium husk. I'll put a picture right there if you don't know what that is. And he eats vegetables, eats fruits. So he his overall dietary pattern is healthy. It's not just because, oh my gosh, he's eating meat and it's TMAO and it's a little bit higher in saturated fat, so it's gonna kill you. It depends overall. And the next thing with misinformation, like around nutrition, it can lead to eating disorders and disordered eating. Like, because people don't really, I think people know, but they don't really know. Because if someone, like, because I just said people have fear and anxiety over the food because people are saying it's poison. If people have fear of that food, they might feel the need to restrict like the food entirely, or like close themselves off from it or avoid it. So then they might start restricting calories, and then that can lead to anorexia or orthorexia, where they're like, oh my gosh, I have to eat super, like, down to a T. I can't break my routine, and it has to be super restrictive. That's not good in the long term. That's how people like avoid going to functions. They're like, oh, I gotta stay at home all day, and oh, I can't go out there. I think it's a difference between, because I think this is where people get it messed up. Like being disciplined, like, because for me personally, I just like to eat healthy, and I just don't like, I don't have cravings for like fast food or like ultra pro. I just don't like that. I just generally don't like eating that. I prefer I like home cooked food. Like, that's just me. It's the difference between that and like you generally like being like anxious when you go out somewhere, like, oh my gosh, like they have broccoli and it has this in it, so I can't eat it. And oh my gosh, I'm gonna freak out. It's the difference between that and being disciplined, and you just generally don't like it. Like, if you generally don't like it, no one's forcing you to eat it. No one's forcing you to eat oatmeal if you don't want to eat oatmeal. If you don't want to eat oatmeal, then don't eat oatmeal. It's pretty simple. If you don't want to eat broccoli because you don't like broccoli, eat butternut squash or eat carrots or something. Swap it up. It's a difference. I think that's what people get it misconstrued, because like you can generally not like a food. Because one food I hate is cantaloupe. I think cantaloupe is like, if the devil made a food, it'd be cantaloupe. I hate cantaloupe. I just don't like it. And that's fine. But it's not like, oh, I heard someone say cantaloupe is high in sugar, so I'm not eating it. It's just because I just don't like it. It's a difference. But yeah, it's just the main thing with that. It's just, if you hear certain things around a food or a food group, or a certain, basically what I just said, like a food group, like grains or like meats or like vegetables or plant foods, just in general, it can psych you out and make you like have an eating disorder, like full blown eating disorder. And obviously that's not good, and it messes with people's mentals and messes with people's bodies and can kill them. Like, it's not good. So yeah, just make sure you don't get into that and let that derail you from what you want to eat. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you need to pick something that's sustainable to you and that foods you like but have been proven to be healthy. This kind of goes into that, but this creates a false reality and perception just of life in general. Because like, diet camps like vegan, like, I like to say this, I'm like, because I say I'm vegan to people so they just know what I'm talking about. But I like, if someone like really asks, I'll say I just eat plant-based foods. Cause I don't get into that whole diet camp like, oh my gosh, you eat meat, you're sinning. Like, oh my gosh, you're such a bad. But I don't care. Like, if you want to eat that and you're doing it healthily, I applaud you, cause that's better than doing something just cause someone told you to do it. Do what you want to do, but that has been proven. So basically, like, diet camps like vegan and carnivore, like, just create like a cult following. Like, oh my gosh, this is like, I'm vegan and I'm only a vegan. I have nothing else going for me. You have to do other things outside of that prove who you are as a person, and you have to know who you are outside of what you eat. Like, just because you eat freaking cheese and yogurt and broccoli, or I don't know, that doesn't determine who you are as a person. It doesn't. I mean, it matters, but not in like the individual identity sense of it. It kind of just what I said. Like, don't let that dictate. Like, oh, I gotta bash this person because I'm a vegan and I'm a carnivore, so we gotta clash and bump heads. Like, no, like, it's not that deep. Like I said, the main thing that we need to fix is just the standard American diet, because they're just eating buku ultra processed foods, and obesity rates are just ridiculous. And, people have high cholesterol, people have diabetes, hypertension. We should be worried more about that than if this little mechanism in a bean is so serious, and oh my gosh, beans are gonna kill us, and fruits and vegetables are no. Who have you ever seen die from eating beans, fruits, vegetables, and grains? No one. So I mean, you see a lot of people like get sick and die from eating McDonald's and Burger King all day, but the thing is, people don't want to talk about that because it's not entertaining. The main reason people do this is because it's more entertaining and it gets more eyes on them and they get more money from it and clout. That's the main reason they do it. Because you just said you need to eat less McDonald's, you should eat more whole foods and drink more water and make sure your supplements are on point and make sure you're exercising and make sure you have lower stress and you get enough sleep. You know how boring that sounds compared to beans are killing you? Like, that's it's so boring just to say the real stuff. Like, because the thing is, people want to avoid it because they know what it is. People know what they need to do. They just don't want to do it because they don't have the courage to do it. Because it's way more appealing to say this food is killing you, this is poison, than say the real stuff that people need to do, which is like consistency, taking care of your health, going to sleep earlier, getting active, getting in steps, lifting, running, whatever you do for cardio. That's what it really is. And it's simple, but it's not easy. That's why people don't want to do it. So pretty much eat whole foods, eat a little bit more plants, be active, exercise, get better sleep, reduce your stress levels, drink some water, and you'll be fine. Don't worry about, oh my gosh, is this apple gonna kill me because it has sugar? No. 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 The main thing is eat more whole foods. I think people know what to do. Is just don't let people yelling on the internet and spewing nonsense derail you from what you really need to do. But that was episode 18. I really think that's really important, and I just want y'all to know that. Make sure I've heard this when I was younger. Don't trust everything you see on the internet because a lot of it's bogus and it's not real. And yeah, but pretty much that was episode 18, and I hope that helps y'all out, and I'll see y'all next time.